For the first time since 1975, North Carolina Central had hopes of knocking off South Carolina State in the 29th Circle City Classic in Indianapolis. And when the dust settled, apparently a new era is about to begin in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, while there may be signs of change at another spot in the southern end of the MEAC. I'm Mark Gray, and the HBCU Sports Nation rolls from Indianapolis and the Circle City Classic.
At North Carolina Central University, we're investing millions of dollars in state-of-the-art research facilities, cutting-edge technology, and new degree programs. Selecting a college isn't just about choosing a place to get your degree. It's about exploring the things that interest you, finding outlets for self-expression or critical thinking or athletic ability. So make the best choice, North Carolina Central University, and watch your dreams take flight. For more information, log on to nccu.edu.
The 29th Circle City Classic was anything but South Carolina State did jump off early, taking their first drive down the field and setting Nick Belcher up with a 29-yard field goal, and that put them up 3-0. From there, it was all North Carolina Central as the Eagles soared. They tie the game up in the second quarter with a 43-yard field goal from Oleg Parent. Then they blow the doors off of South Carolina State. Arthur Groforth with a 13-yard touchdown run, and just like that, it's 10-3. A little bit later in the second quarter, Tasman Foster picks up a fumble from Caleb Davis, and he makes a house call. 27 yards on the return, and the wheels are coming off for South Carolina State. A little later on in the quarter, Julius Pendergrass tries to stem the tide with a nifty run from 29 yards out, using the B button with the juke move, hitting the joystick, and he's off to the races. It looked like South Carolina State would get back in it, but Jordan Reed was having none of that. With 38 seconds left to go in the first half, he connects on a 4-yard TD run, and it's 23-10. But then Richard Pugh in a giving mood. An interception leads to a 9-yard touchdown pass from Reed to Detwan Robinson, and it's 30-10 at the intermission. Throw in the towel. Let's call this one. Andre Clark then puts it on ice in the third with a 40-yard touchdown run, making the South Carolina State defense look like a block of Swiss cheese. And at the end of the day, there were no answers for Bulldog Nation. Only question, as is, where's the offense? Oleg Parent with a 23-yard field goal to cap the scoring, as North Carolina Central, with their biggest win since joining the MEAC, a 40-10 shellacking of South Carolina State.
There's only one sports network strong enough and bold enough to cover historically black college sports in the MEAC, SWAC, CIAA, and SIAC. We know the HBCU story because we lived it. Join us on Saturdays for the Weekend Blitz, where we broadcast the game of the week and keep you abreast of scores and sporting news across the HBCU landscape. Hit us up at hsrn.com. Often imitated but never duplicated. We're HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports. Sirius 128.
Circle City Classic weekend is a very special weekend for the African American community in Indianapolis. And nestled in the town, known more for a 500-yard auto race in May, is the NCAA, who is becoming more inclusive of the HBCU experience. Bernard Franklin is the Executive Vice President and Chief Diversity Officer of the NCAA. Thanks for taking the time to join us and having us in your city, home of the NCAA, Indianapolis. let's talk about the Circle City Classic for a second. How big is this HBCU event for this community?
Well, it's been here for 29 years now. It is a tremendous galvanizing event, not only for the African-American community here in the city, but for the city as a large. It has a tremendous economic impact for the city. And we just look forward to this rich tradition of HBCUs coming to Indianapolis.
How important or significant is the HBCU community to the overall NCAA landscape?
Tremendously important. We have a very rich history. We have 57 HBCUs that are members of the NCAA. The contributions are extensive in terms of what HBCUs have contributed to the overall landscape of intercollegiate athletics. And they continue to be valuable assets to our future as it relates to the landscape of intercollegiate athletics.
As the leaves start changing colors in October, there's a changing of the guard apparently amongst the HBCU football world. Let's start in Nashville, where Tennessee State is now 6-0, having knocked off Eastern Kentucky. They ran the table against their 4 HBCU opponents, starting with Florida A&M on Labor Day weekend and concluding on homecoming against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Meanwhile, there's trouble in Tallahassee as Joe Taylor and the Rattlers fall in back-to-back weeks against Southern and at Howard University, which has the Snakes circling down in the northern part of Florida. Speaking of Southern, Dr. William Broussard, the new athletic director, chose to make a move with Stump Mitchell, and it's apparently paying big dividends as the Jaguars have won 2 straight heading into a critical contest with Alcorn State. And the big shocker, perhaps of anybody, nobody saw North Carolina Central 6 weeks into the season being a contender in the MEAC. Nobody also saw South Carolina State being amongst the bottom dwellers, as the proud tradition has certainly taken a hit. So midway through the HBCU sports season, it's clear that, in the words of Eddie Robinson, the only certainties are uncertainties, and we do know one thing that is for certain: as the entire season plays out, HSRN will be all over it. From Indianapolis at the 29th Annual Circle City Classic, I'm Mark Gray. The traveling roadshow continues on the road to the Super 7 Series from Birmingham, with Alabama State and Alabama A&M in the Magic City Classic. Till next time, I'm Mark Gray. As always, I hope to see you at the ballpark.
There's only one sports network strong enough and bold enough to cover historically black college sports, and the MEAC, SWAC, CIAA, and SIAC. We know the HBCU story because we lived it. Join us on Saturdays for the Weekend Blitz, where we broadcast the game of the week and keep you abreast of scores and sporting news across the HBCU landscape. Hit us up at hsrn.com. Often imitated but never duplicated. We're HSRN, the voice of HBCU sports. Sirius 128.